Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Om Shripad Param Saparivacha Shri Divine Relation Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kori Vaishnavanda Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prince of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ki Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Ki The Lordship Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Thai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhu. Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So we're continuing on Canto 1, Chapter 17, titled Punishment and Reward of Kali, text number 6. Yastvam Krishne Gate Duram Saha Gandiva Danvana Sosho Yashoshan Rahasi Praharan Vadam Harhasi Yastam Krishne Gate Duram Saha Gandiva Danvana Shosho Yashoshan Rahasi Praharan Vadan Harhasi Yastvam Krishne Gate Duram Saha Gandiva Danvana Sosho Yashoshan Rahasi Parharan Vadam Harhasi. Swan Krishna Gate Duram Saha Gandiva Danvana Harhasi Om Sahagandi Vadanvana Hasi Harhasi. Want to try? Swan Krishna Gate Duram Annikani Vadanvana Sri Hasi. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. You rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. Purport. In a civilization where God is conspicuously banished and there is no devotee like Arjuna, the associates of age of Kali take advantage of this lawless kingdom and arrange to kill innocent animals like the cow in secluded slaughterhouses. Such murderers of animals stand to be condemned to death by the order of a pious king like Maharaj Parikshit. For a pious king, the culprit who kills an animal in a secluded place is punishable by the death penalty, exactly like a murderer who kills an innocent child in a secluded place. Hare Krishna. Just chant the Mangalacharan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Takshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stvapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Charitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to a nice Monday morning. So before I start Bhagavatam class, I just want to share Bhagavatam is transcendental because I think the last time we had a public holiday, I think the last we had, I work in a bank, so it's a bank holiday. So everybody else goes to work. So the Sunday before, like it exactly happened, I have to wait for Saturday's verse to finish because sometimes 2 verses are taken, so I wanted to make sure I don't prepare for the wrong verse. And after the Bhagavatam class, I just rushed home, got dressed up and everything, and then I was about to leave to work, and my wife said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To work." I'm like, "It's public holiday, it's bank holiday today." So then you kind of realize, when you're immersed in Srimad Bhagavatam, you transcend what's happening around you. So I hope I don't do the same mistake today. So in this verse, it's very nicely explained that Maharaj Parikshit is kind of seeing the bull being attacked by Kali Purush. But at this point of time, Maharaj Parikshit doesn't know the identity of Kali. He's just going around ministering his kingdom to seeing everything is happening according to godly state. But then he sees this scenario there, but he doesn't know exactly who is this person, why is he trying to injure or hurt a bull, which is kind of the representative of dharma. Now, here it's very interesting scenarios that Prabhupada puts in, where it actually says how when there is no spiritual God-conscious society, then these kind of activities become widespread. And also it's very, Prabhupada compares that killing of an animal in a secluded place is comparing to actually killing of a child in a secluded place. And he says that there needs to be capital punishment for it. It's as bad as killing a human being. But now, as we know that, I know the previous speakers of Bhagavatam, I listen, it's more about cows and the injury that we inflict on them and to the animal kingdom as well. But I just want to talk something different. It's about the justice system that happens currently. Now, as we know, like here, Parikshit Maharaj being the king, he's there, and when he sees some injustice happening, he's ready to give the justice. He's ready to punish the miscreants, and he's basically took the sword out of it, and he's basically ready to see who's on side of wrong, and then administer that punishment. But nowadays, it's basically to get justice. This is a long journey. Now, in the future cantos, in the 12th canto, 11th canto of Bhagavatam, when they talk about the symptoms of Kali Yuga, it talks about how justice will be usually given to the people who are powerful. And it's basically the whole justice system will be manipulated so that it favors the powerful. Or if you have the influence, then the justice comes to you. And what was considered to be a mode of service in the Vedic culture, which was like education, giving medicine, like administering medicine, and then justice was given as a service. It was free. Like when there is some wrong happening, the citizen goes to the king hears him, and the ministers hear him, and then justice is given there and then, understanding who's the right and who's wrong. But now, the most well-paid profession, and also the profession for you which you pay a lot of money in the uni, is like legal system. So, and coming back to medicine as well, what in the previous ages, most of the medical treatment was given by rishis, because they understood Ayurveda, they understood the science of treating the human body. And it was basically the rishi would have, some rishis live in mountains, but there are other, like Dronacharya and other people, they lived with their wife in their ashram, living a very pious and godly life. And then people come to them and they give medicine and then treat them for free. Or in terms like, people give them donation or dakshina, how much ever they can. They were not demanded that to provide this service, I need this much money. And the third thing is education. Education was also part of the culture. So people went to a guru, and then it was imparted to them. And then once the knowledge was given, the disciple gives something as dakshina. Like in case of the Pandavas and Kauravas, Dronacharya asked, because he was hurt by his friend Drupad, whom he was a friend in his Gurukul, because he was ill-treated, he wanted them to defeat him, the whole kingdom, and then and that was accepted by Dronacharya as the dakshina. So all these things which were actually available in a God-conscious civilization for free and as a service, now it's actually become a business. And most of the people who actually kind of want to avail them, and most of the people who actually go to work, half the money goes into availing these situations. Because when we talk about insurance, how many of us basically take insurance, are beneficiary of the insurance? We're not the beneficiary of insurance. Most of the insurance is life insurance. Only after we die, then our descendants get it. So we're not the beneficiary of insurance. And you know, like when you get insurance, even for things that might go wrong, when things go wrong, the insurance company comes up with the policies and, oh, you are covered for that, but under these circumstances, you're not covered for it. And we actually just pay money for the insurance just in a hope that if something happens, then I better to be covered than not. So it's just a fear factor. A material world is just or runs on that fear factor. And the medical system, if you don't have your private health insurance or your Medicare comes for free, but then if you don't have your private insurance, you might be not have availed certain privileges. And if you have to go to a private hospital or something, you end up not having the money to pay for it. And education system is now, I don't know, it's here, you have your private schools and you have your public schools, which there is a differentiation with where you want to go. But then again, back in India and in some other countries, there's literally like not quality education was given in these public or government schools. Parents are forced to go into private schools where the fees and the charges they ask is out of actually the earning capacity of the parents. So in this way, when a godless society comes in, all these things puts burden on the people. Like again, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says in Kali Yuga, like the government taxes the people so much. But then taxes is one side, but also these things which are basic necessity for a person takes a lot of energy out of a person to actually even for them to be avail these facilities. And another thing that we have to understand is like in the Vedic system, law and justice was provided according to the consciousness of the people. I don't know if you know that pastime where before actually Yudhishthira was actually put as a crown prince, there was 4 or 5 thieves who actually brought to the palace, to the assembly, and they actually kind of stole something, did something wrong. And they asked Duryodhan to give justice to see what is that he has in how he sees the case and how Yudhishthira Maharaj sees the case. And Duryodhan was, yes, they did something wrong and it needs to be punished, and he gave punishment to all the 4 people. But then Yudhishthira Maharaj, looking at the details of the case, said the Brahmana needs to be punished more, like the sentence or the punishment is more for the Brahmana, and a little bit less for the Vaishya, and then even less for the Sudra. And when it was asked, the question was asked, like, why do we have to distinguish that? Law is equal to everyone. But then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, yes, it is true, but then the Shudra is quite an unintelligent person. All he does is, he can only do what is said to him. And a Vaishya is always after money. No matter in which area he wants to get the money, his senses get enlightened that, oh my God, there's money there, so I need to go and approach it. But the Brahmana is supposed to know the truth. Supposed to know the purpose of life. So if a Brahmana would have is actually implicated in the wrongdoing, then he needs to give him much more severe punishment, so that, because he would have been the brainchild behind this whole activity. So Yudhishthira Maharaj actually gave judgment according to their consciousness, so which is not present in the current judicial system, because even the person who is running the judicial system doesn't understand the consciousness of the people. And as you know, like sometimes when you go to a court or a judicial system, it takes a long time for cases to be solved, because even within devotees, if there is an issue, when 2 parties come together, you don't know who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth, and who's actually hiding something, and who's telling the truth but conveniently hiding those incidents where they don't want to reveal. So there is all this so much mistrust. And also the people who are actually running the judicial system, or the lawyers, or the people who are representing the clients, they don't know, and even the judge doesn't know, like he goes by what is being said and what is being presented. But in terms of the way that is presented, and is the person really the character of the person, does it match to what he's saying? If he says that he hasn't done it, is it lifestyle or is his way of work, his way of thinking, does it actually reflect that what he's saying is truth? It's very hard to find out. And that's one of the reasons why when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a magistrate, he finished solved cases so quickly, and even the British government was surprised, like how does he solve these cases, which takes us a long time. And basically that is because he had the consciousness, he had the vision to see who's telling truth and who's telling lie. And that is also a power that Krishna gives you, like who's telling lies and who's telling truth. And in terms of administration, that's very important. You need to understand the person. So, but in our system, it's quite now not happening. And in terms of this judicial system as well, it's quite surprising that when the British was ruling India, the whole movement, the whole protest for independent India happened, and the Mughals ruled for 1,000 years, I think so, and then the British ruled for other 200 years. But eventually, all this period, the rule book for Indians was the Manu Samhita. They still stuck with Manu Samhita. Every judgment, every rule that came out of it was referred to that. But the British went, and then after 3 years or something, they changed. They actually said, "Oh, Manu Samhita is too mythological, or too old. It doesn't fit with the current trend." So they actually adopted the British way of law system. It's quite surprising. Till they were there, they wanted to push it out, and then when they went, they pushed the people out, but then they inculcated the structure and the culture of the organization. And it's actually amazing. Like I was just watching Abhay Charan series, and in that there's a conversation from the character where Prabhupada, the person who's acting as Prabhupada, and Gaur Mohan Dev, they actually, when they're talking, the Prabhupada says that the scary part is not about getting freedom from India, freedom, but then are Indians going to adopt the same way of life as the British? And there was a real concern which was raised by Prabhupada to his father. And eventually, after the independence was got, we did not go back to our traditional ways, but we actually tried to replicate or imitate the Western culture. So in this way, the Manu Samhita went out, and then we bought the judicial system. And even till, I don't know, I think it's taken, still in the recent past, capital punishment was part of the judicial system. So if somebody did something very wrong, like as a very grave criminal activity, death penalty or hanging them till death was part of the rule. But then now I don't think it happens in all parts of the world. And the argument they put in is basically, what is the proof that if you actually hang a person, what is the proof that other people are scared to do the same wrong thing? There's no data for it. And then the other argument that's put forward is basically, it seems like a funded state revenge. Like, for example, if there's no judicial system, like if somebody kills someone, the relatives would basically take their revenge by killing that person who killed their dear ones. So instead of them doing it, the state is basically doing it on their behalf by killing that person. So there are two arguments, but it's very loose arguments. But then the last one that they put together is basically, in the event where we actually don't know who did wrong and who's the victim and who's guilty, who's innocent and who's guilty, if the justice is provided to an innocent and he's actually hanged, there's no way to reverse it. So that basically boils down to, there's not enough consciousness in the people to understand whether this truth is being said or not. And then, so
do that, they actually said we can't have death penalty as punishment. But the implications of it is, from a spiritual perspective, from a perspective of the soul, it actually is quite detrimental for the person, because even in the Vedic system, there were situations where sometimes wrong things have happened. Like, for example, we read the pastime of Mandaka Muni, where he was actually just a sage who was in his ashram, and then thieves actually came and hid in his house, and the king's soldiers caught the thieves, and then with the thieves they caught this Muni as well, thinking that he would have provided shelter, and they took him, and he was about to be punished, like a spear to be inserted from the back of his body all the way out, coming out of his head, and he's supposed to be hanged like that. And once the king came to know that, he was wrongly taken by the soldiers, he asked for pardon, and Mandaka Muni said, like, yeah, I'm not angry with you, I'm angry with the person who actually put the rule. And he, because of his mystic powers, he went to Yamaraj and he asked, what is the reason? I've been following all these austerities, so how come you actually, I got to get this kind of a punishment? And Yamaraj said, because when you're small, you actually poked a small insect with a sharp blade of grass. You actually poked all through his body. And the Muni was so angry, and he said, like, how can that happen? Because an innocent child cannot be held responsible or for the acts that he does. And because of that, he cursed Yamaraj. This is the power of the rishis. He cursed Yamaraj that your system is like a Sudra system. So you're deserved to be born as a Sudra, and he was born as Vidura. So things like that happen. And even with Ajamil, the Yamatudas came to him and thinking that he is supposed to come to hell because he's done all these unshastrik activities. But then Yamaraj advised them, like, leave him, because it's basically he has chanted the name of Narayan, so we have no rights on his soul. He's under a different jurisdiction. And in present world also, we see a lot of near-death experience that's happened. Like people who actually can see what's happening. They're out of their body, see what's happening, and then they kind of see some people discussing, oh, you come to the wrong person, and then they leave, and then they again go into the body, and it's like it's a life-changing experience. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's very rare to happen like that. So even in our shastras, there are instances where mistakes happen, but the benefit that happens to that person from the scriptural point of view is like, if somebody has done something such a hideous deed that he's supposed to be killed, if he's killed, his soul doesn't have to take that karma. The karma is stopped, and then he actually, when he's born again, he starts a fresh life. But then if somebody actually is given that, is pardoned, and most of the times death penalty is like life sentence is what, it's not end of the life, it's maybe 20 years or 15 years or something, and then after 15 years he comes out and everything seems normal. And the karma is still stuck with him. He has to undergo so much sufferings. And for the people, and sometimes if you're really politically, here it says for the powerful, you get much more luxurious facility in the prison rather than being outside. And to be frank, it's reality that sometimes in third world country, when thieves come out of the prison, they commit a offense, they commit a crime again because they just want to go back to the prison, because in the prison they don't have to work, they get food on the clock. Here you have to pay for your food. In prison you don't have to pay for your food, and there's less stress for them because they are used to being in the prison. For them to survive outside the prison is a little bit stressful. They have to work for it, but it's a reality. And judicial system is like, in the US and other places where there are gangs actually run within the prison, and they get every facility, and the jail keepers are actually scared to even disturb that because they just don't want trouble. So that is the system that's actually happening. And Jayapatak Maharaj, when I was listening to a lecture to prepare for this class, he actually mentioned that when Mayapur was attacked by the dacoits, and they were actually going through the to the legal system, and basically they came out of the prison in terms of bail, like, you not justice not provided yet, but then you can still come out of a bail. But he said the dacoits who came out, the very next day they actually attacked a farmer in the Mayapur community. It's like you're just out of the jail, don't even like. This is how much love they have for their profession. They don't even want to take a day's break. They just into the action the next day. And then the farmer had I think he had a gun or something, double-barrel gun, and he actually shot. They fled away. But then the two people who died because of his shooting, they were actually those people who were involved in the attack of the Mayapur temple, and they were just released on bail, on parole, just the day before. And this literally, like, there's no consciousness for people that I've done something wrong. I have to repent for it and actually ask forgiveness to the people that I've done something wrong. That's literally nothing. So coming back to why that all these things are happening comes back to the God and the society which is without God consciousness. Because what happens is, because of the killing of cow and killing of other animals, the sensitivity or the compassionate nature of a human being is just degraded. So they sometimes can't think what is right for them, what's wrong for them, and how much it's actually, as a society, how much the consciousness is being affected. Jayapatak Maharaj, again in the lecture, he says that there was this person whose job is he works in a, what do you call, poultry. His job is just to kill chickens. So basically it's all automated. So basically the chickens come in a tray, in the, what's that, in the bell, and all he has to do is like chop, 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 chop. And that's his work day in and day out. And there's once what happened is, like, he did something wrong for, I don't know what this. His manager was, while he was doing his work, his manager was like screaming at him, like yelling at him or correcting him, saying that how could you do that and all these things. He couldn't bear to hear. All he did is, like, he got up, chopped with the same action, he just chopped off his supervisor's head and then just got back to his work. Because this is his job, like, his job is just cutting off the head, and he doesn't feel the difference of what's the difference between cutting a chicken's head and cutting a human being's head. And there's no, what do you say, like, no repentance, no feeling of guilt, and no feeling of what will happen to me if I do that. So again, like, so that is the situation that we're going in. But I just want to touch on something else as well, where, of course, I can sit on the Vyasasana and different devotees can sit, and we can use the stage and the mic in different places to actually talk about it. But then what is that we can actually change? So what can we do for us for the betterment of the world? Of course, everybody can act in a limited way. Some people are acting like, like when Hanuman threw the big boulders into the ocean for building the bridge of Ram. So some people are acting at that capacity. But we can actually act as a squirrel, just trying our bit to help the world. Because as we see, as is predicted in Srimad Bhagavatam, it's not going to change. It's never going to change. We can shout out, we can do whatever we want to, but then this whole culture is not going to change. So what we can do is two things that I thought is, the one thing that we can do is, like, preaching is quite important. We have to continue our preaching, and I always say, like, if you want to preach to someone whom, on a widespread basis, Harinam and book distribution is the way to connect to people, because we don't have all the time in the world to actually sit with the person. We have the time, but then even the other person doesn't have the time or the patience to listen to what we say. So we have no other way other than widespread propaganda of book distribution and doing Harinam, holy name. It actually gets into people's mind and soul and touches them and gives them, the sincere seekers, gives them opportunity to connect to Srila Prabhupada. Now, I don't have to go very far away. Just for me, my legal name is Nataraj. Like, what made Nataraj Mahalingam to be initiated into Nityananda Pranadas is because of one sacrifice of a person called Ghanshyam Prabhu. Even when I didn't want to actually take up Krishna consciousness, I didn't want anybody to do anything with me. But then he actually kind of came into my life and forced me to come to temple, start chanting. I still remember the first time I came to the Siksha program. It's interesting. Basically, me and my wife were kind of coming to temple here and there. And at that time I was working in Sydney, but then I had a client in Brisbane, so I used to go out Monday morning. Was that? No, it was different time. Anyway, this was, so my wife called and said, like, we're still not married, so we're living in different places. So she said, oh, this Siksha program happening, so Ghanshyam Prabhu was Ganesh then. That Prabhu called and he said, do you want to enroll for chanting one round? And I said, okay. I was like, so I gave my name and your name. I'm like, who asked you to give my name? If you want to chant, just chant one round for you. Why you have to give my name? And then I was so angry. Like, how can he just put my name without even asking me? And then on the day of it's interesting, on the day of the Siksha ceremony, my wife didn't come. And she said, I can't come and you go. So me and my friend, so I remember, if you know me, know very well of me, I never raised my voice anywhere. So I remember sitting there, and at that time Atmanam Prabhu was the temple president. So they called my name, I went there, and then when giving out the certificate, he literally asked me, so do you agree to chant one round of Hare Krishna mantra every day? And one of my friends was sitting just close to Prabhupada, and I was so frustrated inside, I said, yes, I will. You know, like in a very loud voice, and I didn't have a mic or anything like that. And that person, that friend whom I came, said, I could hear you saying yes all the way there. So I was like, literally, like, I didn't want to actually do it. So, but that's what we have to do. I know being a devotee and preaching is a thankless task, but if that was not been done, I was still for me, I was a very good person. You know, I had so much compassion for so many different things, but I still would have been a meat eater. So the only way to change a person completely is make him a devotee, because otherwise every other thing that can actually happen will actually, you can be good in one area, but then you will actually still be the same in another area. Like you can see all these some people who have, you know, like, who want to prevent whales being killed in the ocean. They think, oh, if the whales are being killed so much by the Japanese, then what will happen to the economy, ecosystem, everything. And then they have, like, you know, they have like these get-togethers, whatever they call, for preventing the whales, but they serve a barbecue there. So, and they serve beef there, just to get people to sign up and support their thing. So you're trying to save something in the ocean, but then you're actually killing, you're serving the meat of another animal. So literally there's no connection. So unless you become a devotee, that connection, you can't see that connection. And another thing that I wanted to share as well is, we always, as a devotee, we always see how materialistic people don't see that connection. So they see that, they say that you have to support for this thing, but then from the other side, which is basically linked to it, they don't see it. So for us devotees, when we also talk about how we need to protect cows, how we need to protect the environment, how we need to protect Krishna's properties and Krishna's sons and daughters in form of cows, we also, and if we behave in a rude way or aggressive way with fellow devotees, is actually, again, we're not seeing the linkage. So if you think that it's very important to save the cow, it's also important to be kind to devotees and fellow devotees, and also to other people who is living around us, no matter if it's devotee or not. So that is, if that culture is created, then we are actually living in line with the scriptures. Otherwise, again, we are doing the same mistake of taking one principle and then spending our whole life for fulfilling that. But then on the other side, we're not actually fulfilling that instruction from the scriptures. Like, it's interesting. We had the Bhakti Sangha yesterday. So as my usual services, we were taking care of the kids. So some of the boys, the boys can't stay in a confined area. They had to be taken out to play. So there was a park nearby. So I don't know if it's yesterday it was Rishikesh or Bharat. I'm not sure, because on the second time we went, we were actually walking. And I like to ask kids about when you grow up, how would you want to serve Prabhupada? Like, I like to ask that question just to see what's there. So I don't know if it's Bharat or Rishikesh. When we were walking, I think just two of us or something. So I asked, like, how do you, when you grow up, how do you want to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission? And he said, I want to chant. Then I said, yep, okay, you want to chant, but that is for your own benefit. You have to chant, that's fine. But how do you want to serve other people, and like how Prabhupada said? And it's interesting, kids give very simple answers. He said, I just want to be nice to others. And it's actually good. It's one of the qualities of devotee. Just to be nice to other people will actually make other people get attracted to you. And I always say, and every time I think about Prabhupada, I remember this when a devotee asked Prabhupada, how is that you love everyone? Sorry, how is that everybody loves you? And Prabhupada's simple answer is, because I love everyone. So that's one principle that we can carry in our heart, that you don't want to there's no need for you to prove yourself so that somebody can accept you. If you have accepted them, they will accept you wholeheartedly. And that you can see with kids. Even if a new kid comes into the temple or comes to Sunday school, or he comes to a program, when you are able to accept the kid within your group in the play thing, the kid is able to accept you. So it can actually be done in a higher platform, in the adults level as well. So that is one thing that if we can take, we'll make sure that we are not following one side of the scripture and not leaving the other side. So we're connecting those linkages. And when that linkages happens, like, we actually can become a society where people see, like, we love everyone. And one more thing that I would add is, like, whenever I talk to people, there is only a very limited number of people who actually can give class, right? If you ask somebody to give Bhagavatam class, they think, oh, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified myself, but I just want to give Bhagavatam class for my own purification. But some people feel that it's hard to give class, and they feel scared to come in front of everybody. But Vaisheshika Prabhu says this wonderful thing. He says, like, why can't we be the community with the cookie culture? He says, like, simple housewives, why can't you just bake cookies? Just bake cookies, offer them to Krishna, and wherever you go, a devotee has to carry prasadam. Why can't you just give someone when you're waiting for the bus, when you're waiting, going to the post office, going to the supermarket, give like one who serves you just a cookie. And because people are very busy in their world, in their life, that in the fast-paced life, they don't literally like want. Of course, when you go to supermarket, everybody welcomes you with a smile, but it's just, I know, it's just, I work in a pizza shop. It's like, hi, how are you, mate? It's just not, I just really not concerned about this person. How are you doing and how can I help you? It's just, how are you, mate? Like, it's just like it's just like a formality. So when you go to supermarkets, they say hi to everyone, like maybe hundreds and hundreds of people every day. But they get a reply back like, good, how are you doing? That's it. But if somebody gives a cookie and it's like, this is a special cookie, I made it. I come to your shop every day, or I come to Coles every day, and I want to give back something. When that attitude of giving back comes, then you are distinguished. So people might think, oh, this person is different. What is happening? Like, where is he from? And people want to know about you. And it won't happen, don't expect things to happen like the next day, the second day you go, people asking and you distributing book, or them coming to temple. It's a culture. You don't do things expecting something, but you do just because Krishna likes it. And if you do keep doing that just because Krishna likes it, then over a period of time you see that you can connect with a lot of people. So just want to finish there, saying that all this philosophy, all this Bhagavatam is to create that internal revolution, how we can connect to people. So if we don't use that to connect to people, it just remains in the pages. It doesn't touch the heart. So Hare Krishna, I'll end here. Any questions, comments? No? Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Nhảy cái sợi mình